Well, I decided to make my book a podcast. And I got the idea from Malcolm Gladwell. I just took me a few days to remember it. He wrote a book on Paul Simon that's a podcast. Good book. Um, so, what I'm doing with this book is exactly what the title says. I'm going to cover the things that you need to do. These are not necessarily things that you want to do. And also, they're not necessarily things that you know you need to do, which is why I'm writing the book, because you don't know you need to do these things. So I realized that after I saw so many people fail to cure things after, being able, they proved to me that they were able to cure them. And usually when you hear somebody talk about some remedy or something, they talk about how people have succeeded with it or how they have. And, it probably doesn't do that much good, to do that, because I suppose, because, you would assume that, of course, somebody cured something with it, or I did, or else it's a fake, if I'm talking about it, right? So that is not something that I need to talk about. What I need to talk about is failure. Tragedy. And how tragic it is to fail with this, because there's nothing else. And so, if you look at the title, what I was doing this morning is taking the elements in the title and moving them on the page. And it's interesting how that is when you see something on a page. You can see, it automatically organizes itself into a sequence and or a hierarchy of importances and so on. And, with books, people usually assume the most important thing is at the end of the book, and that's because the author puts it there so you'll read the whole book. I don't know why authors want people to read their entire books. Who cares? Why do they care about that? God, one of my favorite TV series is Black Sails. And I think that Black Sails defines all the elements of the American Revolution in a movie about basically a revolution that maybe not, it didn't exactly fail, but got co-opted. And but here we really did revolt. And I've never seen anything as good as Black Sails about the American Revolution, because they tend to make the characters, like too nice, is the only way to put it. And I think Black Sails, strikes a balance. It kind of gets to the root of why nice people are nice. Because they discover they want something more than what they thought they wanted when they weren't as nice. But, of course, it's all totally unrealistic because people are influenced by things that are so dark and so unconscious, of things that they would never want to know about themselves. And this is why they don't get what they say they want, and what they end up getting, or what they end up being with, is what they actually want. And so this movie is, I see it as a kind of preface to the book, where I try to talk about, just why I organized it the way I and or why I may reorganize it later if I see a better way of doing it. But these movies will stand as the book, whatever they turn out to be. And I decided to do this because I can dictate it and write it as a book, but I just felt like I didn't really want to do that. And I don't know anybody who wants to sit down and, type it. It's interesting. There was one of my colleagues in Cure said that she could probably type or transcribe it, and she said she probably had about 12 minutes a day to do that. And it really struck me as funny later when I thought about it. It didn't register at the time, but I was thinking, and I think Keely kind of got it, immediately. But I didn't pick it up from her either. She was on the call where we were all talking. And, Keely used to type my transcripts. She did that for around, maybe off and on for about 10 years. From the 81 to 91. Oh, well, no, years after, because she also transcribed a lot of, almost all the Web College. And the Web College would print out as a book as thousands of pages, right? And there were talks I gave I used to give a talk once a week about, the things you see in the levels in the Web College. There's, all these skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, and because they're skills. And curing things is a skill. It's like stock trading. Oh, that's something I should probably warn you about. I'm a stock trader, and stock traders tend to relate everything in life to stock trading. So sorry about that. I know it bores a lot of people, Don't invite me to your dinner party. What can I tell you? It's just... But anyway, when Keely heard her say that, it probably at least flashed across her mind that Keely used to literally sit there, and she was talking about 12 minutes, and Keely used to type for 12 hours. And this is sometimes 7 days a week. So when Keely was saying she really loved transcribing my transcripts, and she must have, to do that. Thank God. But we used a lot of it. And certainly with the Web College, virtually everything that she transcribed is in there. So it was not wasted. And just because nobody reads the Web College now or listens to it, or very few people, but that doesn't mean that that's forever. This could catch on. I'll tell you what's in the way of it catching on, because I have had this question at times. People have asked me, like, if this really does this, why aren't there more people at your meetings, or using the web collagen. Why haven't I heard of it? Why isn't it covered in the press and in the news and all that? And I now know why, so I might as well tell you, because this is the kind of thing that almost no one will ever share. And they have various reasons why, and there are a lot of different reasons. So, and I can't go into all of them, but what I can go into is one main reason that is true for a great many people. So that might help, right? This isn't everybody, and it's probably not you. So you'll be listening to this and you'll say, well, no, that's not true of me, Okay, fine, but I'll just tell you anyway, just because it's a widespread reason, which is that they don't want anybody to know they had the disease they cured or may still have it. Like, let me give you an example. I know a woman, or used to know her anyway. I haven't spoken to her in so many years, but she cured lupus, and she had the lethal kind, the really bad kind. I don't know much about lupus, but she did, and she told me about it. So I don't remember most of what she said, but anyway, and her symptoms went away. So she felt like she could work again. She went off disability, and she went, got a job at a department store. And she, started as a regular clerk there or whatever it was she did. And she worked herself up to the manager of the department store. And I was talking to her, and I said, well, why don't you do a class for the employees about this? You can tell them you cured your lupus, And she said, oh, no, I can't do that. They'd cancel my medical insurance and fire me because, they won't hire anybody who has lupus. And I was saying, yeah, but you cured it. And she didn't know she cured it, number one. At that point, anyway, even though she still didn't have symptoms. And also, well, she didn't, they don't know lupus can be cured. It's a medically incurable disease. So if you go to your insurance company and say, well, I used to have lupus, but I cured it. They write down, active lupus, in temporary remission, which will end in 5 minutes. So, we better not insure this person. Anyway, and I think I heard through the grapevine that her symptoms came back. And I see this with a lot of people, that they, once they disavow their cure, it actually seems to go away. And it probably should, because they don't want to be cured. They want something else, like medical insurance, which, you can't blame them. They're scared. And they're scared because, see those things in the title? That isn't, only one of them is cure. Right? There's 4 things in the title. One of them is cure, and there are 3 more. And you got to do them all, or you don't get any. Got it? That's what the book is about. And this is the preface. And the preface might be over, because maybe I should start the book now. Okay,